Several hundred people marching through the city's canals, yelling Bezos out of the lagoon and no space for Bezos.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we'll be taking a chaotic trip down the aisle, looking at the most notable celebrity weddings that were plagued with epic mishaps.
They were like throwing their baskets, they threw them up in the air. In any case, they upstaged me.
Casey Wilson and David Casp. Saturday Night Live alum Casey Wilson met her husband, TV producer David Casp, when she auditioned for his ABC series Happy Endings.
Is that an engagement ring?
Oh my God.
Oh my God, where's Pete? Oh my God, that's why he was gonna bring me here after dinner. Oh my God, I have to call my mom. She is going to die!
And fittingly, that's exactly what she got. While their love story unfolded like a fairy tale, their wedding played out more like a slapstick comedy. Everything went smoothly until the reception. Wilson reportedly had a few too many celebratory drinks and took a tumble in front of the entire room.
Everyone around the bayou heard it. It's just so shocking. You know, to be
Of all
standing
places.
of all
What an
all
impression
places.
to make on Mom.
Since all eyes were on the bride, everyone got to witness the embarrassing moment. The fall left Wilson with bruised knees and landed her in a wheelchair the very next day. Not exactly the ideal start to a honeymoon, but certainly a great dinner party story.
I thought it was garbage from your stupid prank, but now I know it's from Pete. I love it. Wait, where is Pete?
Seth Meyers and Alexi Ash. The worst time to get food poisoning is during a long road trip. The second worst? On your wedding day. Just ask Alexi Ash.
Alexi, what's your answer? 3 words.
Obsessive compulsive disorder.
Obsessive compulsive disorder?
The night before she was set to marry late-night host Seth Meyers, Ash came down with severe food poisoning and spent the morning of her big day in the ER. A nurse even told her there was no way the wedding could happen. But Ash was determined to walk down the aisle if it was the last thing she did.
And I looked at my wife, and the only way I can describe how my wife looked was she looked like someone who was hiding a baby in a pair of sweatpants.
She pushed through the pain and made it to the altar right on time. Myers later joked that if anyone had a legitimate excuse to call off a wedding, it was her. Thankfully, she didn't, and they've been happily married ever since.
But of course, mostly, I just want to thank my wife who, obviously has to get an apartment closer to the hospital.
Kristen Cavalari and Jay Cutler. Many other brides have tripped, fallen, or suffered food poisoning on their big day. But what happened to reality TV star Kristen Cavalari was probably the first of its kind. Mere hours before tying the knot with former NFL player Jay Cutler, Cavalari was playing with her dog when he suddenly lunged at her and bit her in the eye.
Oh, I just feel terrible for her. She has to be embarrassed. But if you look at the look on her face in these photos, she seems pretty somber, if you ask me. Maybe she knew it was coming.
Although she was lucky enough to have closed her eyelids just in time, the dog's teeth still grazed it, leaving the area swollen and bleeding. Fortunately, her makeup artist worked some magic and was able to seal the cuts, allowing her to walk down the aisle successfully.
I honestly knew the minute I met him. It was just, we both knew that it was just different. It was very special from the get-go.
Emmy Rossom and Sam Esmail. Shameless star Emmy Rossom opted for a small, intimate ceremony when she married Mr. Robot creator Sam Esmail in 2017. However, that didn't stop things from getting quite chaotic. Just before Rossom was set to walk down the aisle, her 2 flower girls made their entrance.
It was a pretty small wedding, so I didn't do a traditional bridal party. I just had 2 little flower girls that were both about 3 years old.
Okay.
So there was some, it was gonna be adorable.
Unfortunately, their walk coincided with their usual nap time. One of the girls grew cranky, while the other soaked in all of the attention. Then things escalated. The grumpy one launched into a tantrum, hurling flower petals at her partner and sparking a full-blown fight between them on the aisle.
She ran up the aisle and began throwing her petals very aggressively, like at the other girl. And then basically like a women's wrestling fight broke out.
Wow.
All of this unfolded before the bride even stepped out. In the end, the flower girls managed the unthinkable, upstaging the bride at her own wedding.
When I got up there, the rabbi was like, wow, you're lucky you're famous, because these girls really just stole your spotlight. Yeah.
Jennifer Goodwin and Josh Dallas.
I knew right away.
I knew right away. It was that thing. It was that thing. I turned around and I saw her and I knew I was in trouble.
Did you guys, did you meet on your show together?
We met on Once Upon a Time.
On the morning of their wedding, Once Upon a Time co-stars Jennifer Goodwin and Josh Dallas were enjoying what felt like the most relaxing, beautiful day ever. But that calm was interrupted by a call from their wedding planner saying her car had been robbed. At first, it didn't seem like a major issue, but the planner revealed that their ketubah, a traditional Jewish wedding contract written entirely in Hebrew, was among the items stolen.
Okay, ready?
Goodwin tried not to panic, but the mishap threatened to derail the ceremony. Then, by sheer luck, two strangers fluent in Hebrew stumbled upon the ketubah while walking around Hollywood. They looked up Goodwin's agent online, reached out, and had it delivered to them just in time. Katherine Higgel and Josh Kelly. In the 2013 film The Big Wedding, Katherine Higgel played the sister of a groom whose wedding spirals into chaos.
You think they might call it off?
Oh, man, Muffin, get over it.
Okay, it's okay.
You're gonna have beige grandkids that are bilingual.
Oh, we'll see about that, won't we?
Oh, we will see about that. Yes, we will.
But Higgel herself was no stranger to wedding mishaps. Her 2007 marriage to singer Josh Kelly was riddled with them. First, Kelly went skiing 2 days before the ceremony against her advice and ended up breaking his nose. Then their honeymoon in Mexico was delayed because Higgel forgot to take her passport along with her to Park City, Utah, where the wedding took place.
I'm sure it looks worse than it actually was.
Of that moment either. And I think we know why I blocked it.
But that was not all. Even before they could leave for their honeymoon, Kelly reportedly lost his wedding ring in the Utah snow. However, after a long, tireless search, they were eventually able to recover it with a metal detector.
Does it make him nervous at all?
There's
Does
a
he
lot
go?
of like high-pitched giggling. Oh, honey, she's so scary.
Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. It's almost as if Mother Nature didn't want Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. to get married.
One day, I just knew we were going to get married, and I knew I was going to propose. I didn't know when or how, and so I did, and fortunately, she was on the same page.
The pair first met while filming 1997's I Know What You Did last summer and got hitched 5 years later in Mexico. The initial plan was to exchange their vows outside, overlooking the sea at the beautiful El Carreas resort. However, on their wedding day, Hurricane Hernan hit just a few hundred miles away from the resort, forcing them to move the ceremony indoors. As if that wasn't enough, the next day brought a 4.6 magnitude earthquake that left things quite literally shaken. But despite the elements throwing their worst at them, the couple still said I do and have been going strong ever since.
Everybody just wants to fall in love, right? And then it's about keeping them until they get sick of you.
Then what happens?
Then I don't know. We're not there.
Chrissy Teigen and John Legend. This famous couple initially planned to get married at a southern farm, but later decided on a destination wedding at Lake Como, Italy.
This photo, I mean, we got married at Lake Como in September of 2013, so we just celebrated our 10th anniversary last year, and this was a very special moment.
Everything was set for a picture-perfect ceremony. The couple had arrived, the setting was picturesque, and the guests were already filing in. There was just one little problem. Bad weather in Ohio delayed the flights of several members of John Legend's family, so the event was pushed back a few hours. They had no option but to entertain the early guests by serving them cocktails for 4 hours.
One of the things that we wanted to make sure we did was to really be present, really remember everything, not drink too much, just really be there in the moment so that we wouldn't forget.
Eventually, Legend's family made it, and the ceremony went off without a hitch. Well, that's if you ignored Tegan dropping the ring during the vows and accidentally swearing directly into the mic.
Oh, I wish I had something good for you. Basically, oops, as my phone goes off, my apologies.
That's John saying don't tell him anything.
I know, he knows what's happening.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. In September 2012, Hollywood A-listers Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds got married at the Boone Hall Plantation in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina.
He explains he and his bride saw the wedding venue on Pinterest and were dazzled by its beauty. Only later, he says, did they realize it had been built upon devastating tragedy.
The intimate ceremony featured a special performance from Florence Welch, enhanced by sparklers lighting up the evening. During the performance, Lively got caught up in the moment and wandered too close to a sparkler, which singed the front of her custom-made Marchesa wedding dress. Lively was initially bummed by this, but she eventually embraced the accident after Reynolds pointed out that the burn mark would always remind her of a beautiful memory.
And that was the most awkward date for their respective parties, because we were just like fireworks coming across the...
Went well for him. There were no fireworks for me.
Lively wasn't the only one who faced this exact mishap. Dancing with the Stars performer Kim Johnson also burnt her wedding dress when she married businessman Robert Herjavec.
So I asked the second time. She kept on crying, and I asked the third time, and she didn't say anything, and I'm saying, this is getting a little awkward.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez. For his June 2025 wedding to Lauren Sánchez, Jeff Bezos, the third richest person in the world, had his pick of global destinations. He ultimately settled on Venice, one of Europe's most romantic cities.
Later, Bezos, dressed in a tux, speeding down the Grand Canal in a flotilla of paparazzi and security, arriving at the stunning San Giorgio Maggiore.
This decision was met with backlash from local residents, who saw the event as yet another example of the city's growing over-commercialization and feared it would worsen pollution. In protest, they hung anti-capitalist banners and filled the canal close to the initial wedding venue with inflatable crocodiles. As a result, the wedding location was changed.
Protester Giacomo Scarpa says, as a Venetian, I want to defend my city from this mass tourism. Bezos is a symbol of that. Venetian Martina Vergana says, we're here to continue ruining the plans for this day.
Then, during the welcoming party for the festivities, a severe thunderstorm struck, pouring down heavy rain that left many of the guests drenched. Despite the chaos, Bezos and Sanchez eventually tied the knot on June 27th, surrounded by several high-profile names.
Bill Gates, the Kardashians, pals Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King, Usher, Tom Brady, Orlando Bloom, and Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner.
What other celebrity wedding mishaps did we miss? Let us know in the comments below.
Trust me. It looks great from the outside, but there are some issues.